Welcome back. You're watching KTN Business Today. We are coming to you live from Mombasa County at the Sarova Whitesons, where we are pitching camp here, covering for you the nuclear energy conference that is happening here in Mombasa. Well, let's recap our top story for today. KTN journalist Joy Doreen Bira has been released by the Ugandan authorities following her arrest last evening. These are the latest reports that are reaching us regarding where she is. We are yet to speak to her, and we're definitely going to keep an eye on this developing story. She was arrested for allegedly posting pictures of the chaos that erupted in Kasese, Uganda. That is our top story we are following up for you this afternoon. Well, also on the program, we'll be discussing about nuclear energy. And do you think Kenya is ready to have nuclear energy? That is the question we're putting out to you. Do send in your feedback using our Twitter handle at KTN News, or you can tweet me at Agina Abi, and we'll be able to sample some of your tweets. I've already seen a number of tweets coming through regarding this particular issue. And of course, we'll be putting that question to the key experts that we have lined up for you this afternoon. Well, that is a Twitter poll question, and we just want to kick off this conversation now with Dr. Giorgio Locatelli, who is a lecturer at the University of Leeds in the United Kingdom, and he is one of the key stakeholders that have been championing the issue around nuclear energy. Perhaps, Dr. Locatelli, let's just start off. What is nuclear energy?
Nuclear energy is the energy released by fissioning atoms, usually of uranium. These produce heat that is usually used to heat water. Water makes steam, and this steam drives a turbine that eventually will make electricity.
Put it in a simpler way for the common man.
Is the energy released by breaking atoms that make heat. This heat make the water boiling.
Well, it seems there's no simple explanation around nuclear energy, and that is perhaps leading us into this conversation. There's a lot of suspicion when you mention nuclear energy to a number of countries, be it in Africa, be it outside Africa. There's a lot of people thinking twice about it. How do you think we'll be able to drive this agenda with people already being persuaded that it's not the right kind of energy for a country like Kenya, bearing in mind issues to do with safety, issues to do with the storage of these nuclear reactors, really?
Okay, it's very important to understand that the construction of nuclear power plant doesn't happen overnight. So starting the construction of nuclear power plant is the final step of a long journey. A long journey that starts to understand the technology, to understand the cost, to understand the benefit, to understand the waste, and so far and so on. It's very important to make people understanding what is nuclear power. It's very important for people to understand what are the risks and the benefit. And there is one very important thing to say. There is no energy source that have no risk or that only have benefit. All type of power plant have its own benefit, have its own advantages and disadvantages.
But why should Kenya pursue nuclear energy at a time countries are reconsidering going the nuclear way, really?
Well, at the present moment, there are several countries that are considering to develop a nuclear infrastructure. Countries that never had nuclear before. A few weeks ago, I was in Chile, and Chile is in the similar position of Kenya, is trying to understand this technology. Another country is Turkey, that is also trying to understand this technology. Nuclear power is a very good idea in certain situations, maybe not a good idea in other situations. The job that Kenya have now is to understand if nuclear power is a good solution for Kenya.
And before I let you go, Dr. Locatelli, looking at Kenya, we have plans to have a nuclear power plant by 2027, and we are targeting to generate about 4,000 megawatts of power from nuclear energy. From where you sit as a country, have we met the threshold for having a nuclear plant?
Well, to have a nuclear power plant requires that there is what we call the nuclear infrastructure. For instance, the legislation about nuclear, the understanding of the fuel waste and the sites and so far and so on. Kenya have time to develop these, collaborating with the international community, collaborating with the experts from all over the world and collaborating with the International Atomic Energy Agency.
And lastly, how soon do you think or what would be the potential impact if we have nuclear in our energy mix?
Well, in some energy mix, nuclear power is a positive element because it produces base load power. It means that this is power that can run continuously 24/7 for years. And this is very important for supporting the growth of demand for electricity.
Of course, this is a topic we can't exhaust in one sitting, and we will be continuing this conversation around nuclear power. And just looking at recent developments, we did see an incident happen in Chernobyl. We also saw the Fukushima incident. Perhaps, do you think people have overcome the fear of having nuclear?
What we need to understand about the accident of Chernobyl and Fukushima is that those were very old reactors. So look at cars, look at television. Car and television today are very different from car and television 40 years ago. Even if we still call car and television. The same apply to nuclear power plants. Nuclear power plants that are designed and built today are very different from the nuclear power plant that, like Fukushima, that has been built 40 years ago. And the power plant built today, they incorporate the lesson learned from Chernobyl and Fukushima.
Well, many thanks there. I've been speaking to Dr. Giorgio Locatelli. A pleasure having you on the show. And of course, this issue continues to generate a lot of debate around, is Kenya really ready for a nuclear power plant come 2027? And we'll also be speaking shortly to Basit Buyuka, who works for the Kenya Nuclear Electricity Board, just to also get his perspectives around how far is Kenya in terms of preparations for this. And as we have Basit come on, let me just sample a few tweets that we are seeing already. A lot of tweets coming through. One of the tweets here I'm seeing it's from Abdi Kadir. He's saying Kenya can achieve nuclear energy so long as we set the right framework.